I visited the church on a quiet morning when the sun was still rising and the city had not yet awakened. The bells rang gently, echoing through the empty streets, guiding me like a melody that belonged to another time. The church stood tall with its ancient stone walls, stained glass windows, and a great wooden door that carried the marks of centuries. As I entered, the air changed. It was cooler, calmer, and filled with the faint scent of burning candles. Sunlight poured through the colored glass, painting the floor with patterns of red, blue, and gold. The silence was deep, yet it was not empty. It felt alive with prayers whispered by countless voices over the years. I walked slowly toward the altar, noticing the carved details of angels, saints, and biblical stories that decorated the walls. Each symbol seemed to carry a lesson, a reminder of faith and resilience. Sitting on a wooden bench, I closed my eyes for a moment. The world outside faded away, and what remained was peace. A monk in simple robes passed by, nodding gently, his presence calm and reassuring. I watched as he lit another candle and knelt in silent prayer. There was no rush, no noise, only devotion. The stillness of the church reminded me of the strength that comes not from loudness, but from quiet reflection. When I finally stepped outside, the bells rang again. The world outside was alive once more with people walking, talking, and working. Yet within me, there was a calmness I had not felt before. Visiting the church was not just a journey into a building, but a journey into silence, faith, and inner strength. After I stepped outside the church, the calmness still lingered in my heart. The city noises felt distant, as if I carried an invisible shield of silence around me. I decided to walk back inside, drawn again by the mystery of that sacred space. This time, I slowed down even more, allowing my senses to explore every corner of the church. The great stone pillars rose like guardians, each one carrying the weight of history. Their cold touch reminded me that these walls had stood through wars, storms, and countless generations. I ran my fingers gently over the carvings, feeling the grooves shaped by hands long gone. It was as if the church itself breathed, whispering stories of hope, sorrow, and faith. A choir of young voices began practicing in the distance. The sound echoed beautifully, filling the entire hall with music that felt like sunlight entering through the stained glass. Though I did not know the words, I felt the emotion behind them: devotion, unity, and longing. Their voices rose higher and higher, weaving together like threads of gold in the air. I sat again, letting the music wash over me, and for a moment I forgot about time. Later, I noticed a monk arranging books near a side altar. His steps were soft, his movements precise, like someone who had dedicated his life to discipline and patience. I approached him, and he greeted me with a warm smile. We spoke briefly. He told me that every visitor who entered the church carried a different burden. Some sought answers, others carried grief, and a few simply searched for silence. "The church," he said softly, "does not always give answers, but it always gives space for the heart to breathe." Those words stayed with me. As I walked deeper, I found a row of candles, each one lit for a prayer. Some flickered weakly, others burned strong and steady. I lit one too, not for a specific wish, but as a symbol of gratitude for the roof over my head, the people in my life, and the strength to keep moving forward. Watching the small flame dance reminded me that even in darkness, a little light can make all the difference. I wandered toward a side chapel where a massive painting hung. It showed a scene of struggle and triumph, humanity reaching for the divine. The colors were faded with age, yet the message was still powerful. I stood there a long time, imagining the artist painting it centuries ago, perhaps with the same longing I felt at that moment. As the day passed, the church filled with visitors, some tourists admiring the beauty, some worshippers kneeling in prayer. Each person had their own story, yet all were united in the same sacred silence. I realized the church was not only a building, but also a meeting place of countless souls. When the evening bells rang, the golden light of sunset streamed through the stained glass, transforming the church into a living painting. Red, blue, and gold shimmered across the floor and walls, as if the heavens themselves had descended into the room. I stood still, awed by the beauty. It felt like a gift, an unforgettable moment when time seemed to stop. Finally, as night approached, I walked out once more. The city lights flickered alive, and the sounds of life returned. Yet, inside me, there remained a calm flame, small but steady, like the candle I had lit. Visiting the church was not only about entering a building, it was about entering myself, listening to silence, and discovering that even in the busiest world, peace can be found if one looks deeply enough. That night, I slept with a lighter heart, knowing that the memory of the church would guide me whenever I felt lost. Its bells, its silence, its lightle would remain with me long after my visit had ended.